I always believed that if I worked hard enough, they'd finally see me. Not just as the other daughter, not the charity case, not the reminder of Dad's first marriage, but as their family. So when I got into med school, I promised myself this moment graduation would change everything. I'd finally earn my place. I'd finally matter. I spent $15,600 to fly them in, business class for Dad and his wife, a beachfront hotel suite for my half-sister and her boyfriend, a prepaid dinner reservation at one of the best rooftop restaurants in the city, and a private town car scheduled to pick them up at the airport, complete with champagne and a little welcome card I wrote by hand. They never showed up. Instead, they flew to Greece. I found out through Instagram. A photo of the three of them standing in front of the Aegean Sea, glasses raised to the sky. Caption: family time is the best time. Hashtag Santorini dreaming. Hashtag blessed. No mention of me. Not a single word. Rewind a little. It had taken me 10 years to get to this moment. 4 years of undergrad, 4 years of med school, and 2 years of pushing through rotations that made me question if my body would ever function normally again. I worked night shifts and slept in broom closets. I studied anatomy while heating instant noodles over a desk lamp. I cried in bathroom stalls. And not once did anyone from that family check in. But I kept giving them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they didn't know how. Maybe I just needed to prove myself first. So when the graduation date was confirmed, I saw it as my golden ticket. My chance to rewrite history. I poured every penny into the trip. Mom's back can't handle Coach, Dad said. She deserves luxury. He meant his new wife. I nodded. And Anna's bringing her boyfriend, he added. Anna, my half-sister. The girl who once locked me out of the family beach house by accident. I said yes anyway. I even ordered special leather-bound invitations. One for each of them. Embossed with gold foil. Dr. Evelyn Grace commencement ceremony, June 6th. It was the first time I ever put doctor next to my name. I mailed the invitations with trembling hands. 1 week later, I got a voicemail from Dad. Sweetheart, we're proud of you. We'll be there. Just send us the flight details. Proud. I played that word on loop. I booked the tickets the next day. $15,600 in total. Gone in a click. My savings account drained. But I smiled. Because this was worth it. They were finally coming for me. 2 days before the flight, I called. No answer. I texted. All good for Friday? Anna replied 10 minutes later. Hey, something came up. I'll explain later. Love you. I stared at the screen. No punctuation. No apology. Just something came up. I tried calling. Nothing. Tried Dad. Tried his wife. Silence. Graduation morning, I still held on to hope. I told myself maybe they'd surprise me. Maybe their flight was just delayed. Maybe Anna was trying to keep it a secret for fun. I walked into the ceremony hall with shaky hands. My robe too long. Hair in a messy bun. My eyes scanned the crowd. Hoping. Wishing. The row-marked family sat empty. 5 seats all untouched. I kept glancing back. Nothing. They didn't come. But they went to Greece. I found out after the ceremony at the reception. My roommate tapped my shoulder. Didn't you say your folks couldn't make it? I guess they couldn't, I mumbled. He frowned and turned his phone to me. There they were. Dad, Anna, and the woman he married after leaving my mother. Standing in front of a white chapel on a cliff. Santorini. The caption broke me. So grateful to spend this moment with the people who matter most. Let me tell you a secret. My mom died 3 years after Dad left her. Depression. Overdose. The official report said accidental. I know it wasn't. She stopped getting out of bed when I was 15. She stopped speaking much after Dad moved into a new house and posted his wedding photos on Facebook. She never smiled again after she saw the picture of Anna calling Dad my hero. And at her funeral, Dad didn't show. He sent flowers. And a card. Signed. From James and family. Not Dad. Not love. Just that. So when I got into med school, I told myself I'd earn my happy ending. That I'd build something from nothing. That I'd turn the pain into pride. I even imagined Mom clapping in the back row, wearing her favorite red scarf, the one I buried with her. She would have cried, but not because she was sad, because her daughter made it. But instead, I walked across the stage alone, and when I posted a picture of me holding my diploma, my uncle commented, "If she's really a doctor, why wasn't anyone there?" Then another comment, "Internet degree? LOL." That night I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I sent one message to the family group chat. Hope Greece was worth it. Attached is my diploma, and the invoice for your absence. Paid in full. Then I turned off my phone, and for the first time in years I went to sleep without checking if Dad had texted back. He hadn't. I thought silence would be the end of it. That once I sent the invoice and turned off my phone, they'd get the message. They didn't. 3 hours later, my phone lit up like Times Square on New Year's. First a call from Dad, then Anna, then Mom 2.0, as my roommate used to call her. I didn't answer. Then came the text, "Sweetheart, we didn't think you'd mind. It was a once-in-a-lifetime trip. You've always been so independent." That word again, independent. Their favorite excuse for abandonment. When I ignored them, the tone changed. "You're being dramatic. You don't understand how stressful life's been for us. Stop making this about you." Then came the line that broke me. "You didn't even go to real med school. That's just an online program, right?" They used my dream, my blood, sweat, and sleepless nights as a punchline. I blocked all 3 of them, but I didn't block my curiosity. I went back to the Facebook post, checked the comments, refreshed. Uncle Ray's comment, "She's not a real doctor," had 42 likes now. I recognized the names. Cousin Leah, Great Aunt Debbie, even my godfather, the one who gave me my first stethoscope when I was 12. Each name felt like a slap. That night, I opened a folder on my laptop I hadn't touched in years. Family receipts. Inside were screenshots, bank transfers, texts that started with "please help" and ended with guilt when I couldn't send more. The $2,000 I wired Dad last winter for heating. 2 days later, Anna posted photos at a ski lodge. The $1,500 I gave Mom 2.0 for medical bills. Turned out it was for Botox. I scrolled numb. Then I opened an audio file I didn't remember recording. It was from March 3rd, the day I bought the graduation tickets. My voice. "Okay, I've sent you the confirmation. First class. Hotels under my name. Dad. Sweet. You really didn't have to." Mom 2.0. "Such a big spender now, huh?" Anna. "If she's really a doctor, I guess she can afford it." Dad again. "She thinks we'll fly into clap like circus seals. Doesn't realize she's just our retirement plan." The audio ended. I sat still for almost 5 minutes. Then I renamed the file. Not untold. I wasn't planning revenge. I wanted distance. But distance doesn't help when they keep showing up in your life uninvited. Emails, DMs, voicemails from family members saying I was cruel for shutting everyone out, that I was tearing the family apart. The same family that skipped my graduation to sunbathe in Santorini. Then came the final straw. My cousin Sarah, the only one who ever showed an ounce of empathy, sent me a screenshot. It was from the family group chat. Mom 2.0 wrote, "Evelyn told us not to come. Said she didn't want to make things awkward. She was always so distant anyway." Anna replied, "Yeah, she basically uninvited us. Said she'd rather celebrate with her real friends." Dad added, "Let her sulk. Greece was a better use of our time than another lecture on how hard med school is." I stared at that screenshot like it was a foreign language. They didn't just ditch me. They rewrote the story. They made me the villain. So I made a decision. No more silence. I still had the dinner reservation. Private room. Custom menu. Prepaid deposit. I hadn't canceled it, hoping deep down they'd show. Now I had a different plan. I invited them. Told them I wanted closure. They came dressed like nothing had happened. Mom 2.0 wore pearls. Dad faked a limp again. Anna smiled like she owned the room. They didn't notice the projector. Not at first. We sat. They started talking. "We're proud of you, Evie. Sorry we missed the ceremony. Greece was once in a lifetime. You understand, right?" I stood up. Clicked the remote. Slide 1. "When you're not family, just an ATM." Mom 2.0 blinked. Anna froze. Dad's face darkened. Slide 2 screenshots. Every bank transfer. Every urgent request. Every guilt trip that followed. Slide 3 the audio. I hit play. Dad's voice. She doesn't realize she's just our retirement plan. Anna's laughter. Mom 2.0's mocking tone. Then came the final slide. A split image. On the left, my empty row at graduation. On the right, their champagne toast in Greece. Caption. This is what family looks like. I looked at Dad. You once told me real doctors don't need applause. But you didn't just skip the applause, you skipped me. He tried to speak. I raised a hand. You all treated me like I was optional, disposable, replaceable. But I'm not. I pulled out a folder. Inside, copies of the tax returns I filed for them. The title to Anna's car, bought under my name. A notarized deed to the house she lived in, also under my name. I slid it across the table. That house? No longer yours. The car? Repossessed this week. Your credit cards? Canceled. Utilities? Disconnected. Anna gasped. Mom 2.0 stood up. You can't do this. I smiled. I already did. Then the door opened. Professor Langston, my mentor from med school, walked in. He nodded at me, then turned to my family. I watched Evelyn push through every challenge, every sacrifice. She saved a life during her rotation while you were too busy questioning her worth. He looked at Dad. You didn't raise a doctor. You ran away from one. Then he left. I turned back. This dinner's on me. Last gift you'll ever get. And I walked out. Not in anger. Not in grief. But in power. It wasn't just the $15,600. It was what it cost me to believe in them. That money came from everything I didn't spend on myself. I drained my savings account. Maxed out the credit card I'd been guarding like a dragon hoarding gold. Even dipped into the emergency fund I'd built over 4 years of med school. A few hundred here, a scholarship refund there. I'd never traveled. Never bought new clothes. While my classmates vacationed after finals, I worked hospital shifts and bought off-brand cereal. All because I believed that if I just gave enough, they would finally give back. I wasn't paying for tickets. I was paying for a family photo where I finally belonged. Instead, I got silence. And slander. Because it didn't stop after the dinner. They weren't embarrassed. They were enraged. 2 days later, Mom 2.0 posted a black and white picture of me in high school. Captioned it like a tragic novel. He used to be such a sweet boy. We raised him with so much love. But money changes people. My heart breaks for this broken family. 400 likes. Dozens of comments. Praying for you. You don't deserve this. I always knew she was difficult. Then came the text from Anna. You'll regret this. Simple. Cold. I didn't respond. But the timing? Ironic. Because that Monday morning the eviction letter was delivered. Just as I'd promised. Official. Signed. Final. An hour later, Anna posted a crying selfie. Caption. Some people destroy everything just to feel powerful. Funny how people only start crying when the credit card stops working. I didn't reply. Didn't block them either. Instead, I began compiling. Not for revenge. For record. Screenshots. Receipts. Audio. Bank memos. The kind of file you don't make out of spite, but out of survival. I named it Truth Vault. It was supposed to end there. But then, a GoFundMe surfaced. Anonymous tip. No sender. Subject line. You might want to see this. The campaign title. Help our family heal from the past. The photo? An old one. Us at a backyard barbecue when I was still naive enough to think they loved me. Description. He abandoned us. He used money as a weapon. Hacked our accounts. Left us homeless and traumatized. They asked for $50,000. They'd raised over $13,000 in 2 days. Comments poured in. You're so brave. He sounds unstable. Always knew something was off with that kid. Even Uncle Ray chimed in. Keep your head up. You're the real family here. I didn't scream. Didn't cry. I poured myself coffee, opened the Truth Vault, and uploaded everything. Every transfer. Every voicemail. The screenshot where Mom said, honestly, we just thought you'd keep paying. Then I bought a domain. thisicenotrevenge.com. Black background. White text. One post only. Since you wanted the story, here's the full one. No insults. No rage. Just dates, amounts, receipts, voices. I ended it with one line. If setting boundaries makes me heartless, so be it. Then I made one small move. I donated $1 to their GoFundMe. Message attached. Still not a real doctor, huh? Enjoy the receipts. By noon, the fundraiser was locked. By 6 p.m., deleted. By 9 p.m., Anna's Instagram went private. At 9:17, I got a call. Unknown number. I answered. Silence. Then a voice, thin, cracking. Why are you doing this to us? My mother. The one who hadn't called me in years. Same voice, different tone. I said nothing. She went on. You already left. Why can't you just forget? Let it go. I waited. Then said calmly. You made me the villain. I'm just giving you the ending you wrote. She started crying. We didn't think you'd really leave. I answered. Doctors perform amputations. Sometimes the only way to save a life is to cut off what's infected. I hung up. It's been a year. The house Anna used to live in? I renovated it. Now it's rented to a family of 5 who pay on time and say thank you. They painted the mailbox blue. The kind my mother once called cheap. Fits now. As for me, I bought a townhouse. Quiet. 2 stories. Hardwood floors. A Japanese maple that turns blood red in October. No family portraits. No keepsakes. Just framed diplomas. A French press. I love more than 90% of my relatives. In silence. Not the lonely kind. The healed kind. Then last week I got a birthday card. No return address. Inside. We miss you. I smiled. Lit it on fire in my patio dish. Watched it curl, crackle, vanish. Some things burn beautifully. 3 days ago I launched a podcast. Title: Real Doctor, Real Life. Tagline: Because some stories don't come with applause. First episode: The degree. The invoice. The goodbye. It hit 1.2 million plays in 72 hours. I donated the first $15,600 in ad revenue to a scholarship fund. Named it after the only person who never asked me for anything. Eleanor Grace. My mom. There's only one rule. No applicants from my family allowed. I thought going silent would make me invisible. That if I deleted them from my life, they'd do the same. But some people, they can't stand losing the audience. Especially when they've already painted themselves as victims. I'd started over. New apartment. New email. New phone plan under a different name. I changed everything short of a legal identity. And for a while it worked. No calls. No texts. No unexpected bills. Just peace. The kind that doesn't feel borrowed. Then, one afternoon my mentor sent me a screenshot. You seeing this? It was a Facebook post from a local support circle group. A woman shared her story about a cruel medical professional who had abandoned his family after achieving success. No names, no photos. But the details were mine. Almost word for word. Twisted, blurred, weaponized. The comments: doctors these days think they're gods. He sounds ungrateful. Family should come first, no matter what. One comment caught my eye. Sounds like my nephew sad. Uncle Ray. Of course, they couldn't shame me in person anymore. So now they tried to shame me by proxy. I laughed. Then I created a second post on my site. Title: When they can't control you, they'll try to rewrite you. I laid it all out again, calm, factual, undramatic. I didn't even link it anywhere. Just left it there. Like a landmine. Waiting. Meanwhile, my podcast was gaining traction. Episode 3 was trending in medical drama. On Spotify. I got an email from a publisher. A proposal. Have you considered turning your story into a memoir? I hadn't. But I was considering it now. Not for revenge. Not even for catharsis. For people like me. The ones who spent their whole lives auditioning for a seat at the family table. Only to realize the table was a folding one, and they were never on the guest list. Then I got the voicemail. A woman. I know who you are. I know what you did to them. Your family's homeless because of you. You'll pay for this. It was a blocked number. I saved the file. Named it projection_001.mp3. Later that night, Anna's boyfriend messaged me on Instagram. Just so you know, she's telling people you hacked her accounts. She says you forged the house deed. I replied with a thumbs up emoji, then blocked him. I wasn't afraid, but I was getting tired. I started therapy again, not because I was broken, but because even healing has splinters. One day my therapist said, "You're not angry at what they did. You're angry that they keep pretending they didn't do it." She was right. It wasn't the betrayal. It was the gaslighting. They didn't just hurt me. They rebranded the hurt. So I shifted from defensive to documented. Every threat, every lie, every whisper campaign, screenshots, voicemails, anonymous Reddit threads, all filed neatly, date stamped, backed up, not for revenge, not for war, but for truth. Because if they were going to try and rewrite me, I'd make damn sure they couldn't erase me. Meanwhile, something strange began happening. People I didn't know started messaging me, not with hate, with stories. "I saw your podcast. I left my family too. I thought I was the only one who felt guilty for saying no. Thank you for reminding me I'm not broken. I'm just not theirs." And for the first time in my life, I felt like I was part of a family I didn't have to pay to keep. One night I walked past a bookstore downtown. In the window was a handwritten sign. Now stocking, Real Doctor, Real Life, the autobiography. My chest tightened. I hadn't even seen the cover yet. The publisher had sent it to my P.O. box a week earlier, but I hadn't opened it. It felt final. But seeing it there, next to books by people I admired, it didn't feel like revenge anymore. It felt like resurrection. Then came the letter. Real envelope. Postmarked from the town I grew up in. Inside, a short note. "We're sorry. We messed up. We were scared. We love you. Please come back. Dad." No dear. No sincerely. Just those lines. Short, uneven, crooked like his handwriting always was. I stared at it for 10 minutes. Then I placed it in the fireproof box, next to my diploma, my eviction letter, and the deed to the house. Because some apologies aren't meant to be opened. They're meant to be witnessed. Closure is a myth. There's no moment where it all clicks, no final tear, no cinematic sunrise. There's only one choice. The choice to stop trying, to stop fixing what was never whole, to stop bleeding into hands that only clapped when I gave them something. 6 months passed. The podcast kept growing. The book hit a bestseller list I didn't even know existed. People kept reaching out, some to thank me, some to share pain, and some just to whisper, "Me too." It was beautiful, terrifying, freeing. Then one morning I got an email from my old high school biology teacher. Subject line, "Proud of you, Doc. Body." I knew from day one. Even when your hand shook in frog dissection, your eyes never did. Keep going. I cried. Not the dramatic sobbing. The silent kind where one tear slides down and your chest just opens. Because he'd seen me. Long before anyone else did. And then life happened. I moved. Started a new role at a teaching hospital. Mentored students. Hosted a panel. Was invited to speak at a trauma recovery summit. I said yes. I prepared a talk called, "What Survives the Fire?" It wasn't about the betrayal. It was about what came after. The things I built in the ashes. A week before the summit, I got a package. No return label. Inside, a photo. My mother. Me. Age 7. We were sitting on the floor, surrounded by medical brochures. I was holding a toy stethoscope. She was laughing. And on the back of the photo, written in soft pen, "For our real doctor." Mom. No one else could have had that photo. It must have come from Dad's house. Or Anna's. I didn't know. Didn't ask. I just stared at it. And for once, I didn't feel grief. I felt warmth. At the summit, I stood in front of 600 people. Many had lost more than I ever would. But when I told my story, not the dramatic version, just the honest one, I saw nods, tears, hands reaching across chairs to hold each other. Because hurt doesn't always look like violence. Sometimes it looks like silence. Like being the extra plate no one remembers to set. I ended the talk with one line. I didn't burn the bridge. I just stopped rebuilding it. The applause didn't feel loud. It felt soft, like healing. Afterward, a woman came up to me, older, sharp eyes. She said nothing, just hugged me. When she pulled back, she whispered, "They'll keep spinning their version. Let them. We know who wrote the real one." Now my days are quiet. I teach. I read. I drink my coffee slowly. There's a stray cat who started showing up at my doorstep. I named her Maple. She sits in my lap while I answer emails from students. One of them asked last week, "How do you stay so calm?" I replied, "Because I finally understand this. Peace doesn't come from fixing what broke you. It comes from building what honors your healing." Sometimes I walk past the hospital lobby and see my name on a plaque. Dr. Evelyn Grace, patient advocate and ethics chair. Sometimes I pass by the house I used to live in. There's a new family there now. A little boy rides a scooter in the driveway. His mom sits on the porch reading. They planted lavender. It smells like a new story. And sometimes, I still get emails from Anna. Most go to spam. But every now and then one slips through. Subject line: "Let's just talk." I never open them. Not because I'm angry, but because I'm not. This isn't a revenge story. It's not even a redemption story. It's a release. A quiet exhale after years of holding my breath. You don't owe anyone your silence. You don't owe anyone your suffering. And if walking away makes you the villain in their story, then build a life so beautiful, you'll never feel the need to read it. You don't owe anyone your silence. And if walking away made you the villain in their story, then maybe it's time to write your own. Subscribe for more real stories like this one. And tell us below, what would you have done?